great honor and pleasure to announce the President of the French Republic. It's wonderful to have him here.
Mesdames et messieurs les chefs d'État et de gouvernement, mesdames et messieurs les ministres, mesdames et messieurs les directrices, directeurs généraux d'organisations internationales, monsieur le secrétaire général, mesdames et messieurs en vos grades et qualités, parce que je ne reconnaîtrai pas tout le monde ni dans la salle ni dans les escaliers. Je sais qu'il y a aussi beaucoup de parlementaires, de chefs
Unfortunately, I
d'entreprise. Merci
cannot
d'être là.
welcome each and every one of you here in the room. There's company representatives here, Christoph Heusgen, head of the MSC. Esteemed friends, I'm very happy that we can get together here today in this spot where for the past 60 years, I believe it is now, discussions have been held that structure our world. Discussions that have led to new considerations in the transatlantic bond. Today, we heard from President Zelensky and from Federal Chancellor Scholz, my previous speakers, and now I have to say that, speaking after them, that it is very apparent that the situation is very serious. Almost a year has passed since the catastrophic war of aggression was launched by Russia in Ukraine. And even though the time for conclusions has not yet come, I think we should look ahead anyway, or maybe take stock in a certain way. Of course, in my deliberations today, I would like to focus on the war Russia is waging in Ukraine. But at the same time, we must not forget that there are other wars that are being waged in the Middle East, in the Caucasus region. There is a war going on against terrorism, questions of nuclear issues are important as well, but of course today Ukraine is at the heart of the matter. After 1 year, taking stock leads to a very grave result after this catastrophic conflict, and I think I want to highlight one major point today. This war, as opposed to everything we read today, is not only a war of the Europeans, it's a war that concerns the world as a whole, because there is no justification at all for this aggression. I said this a few months ago already when I spoke at the United Nations. I said that this is a neo-imperialist attitude that we see, that is expressed in this aggression towards a neighbor of which you believe you must not respect their entire territory, and that there is a law that needs to be, a right that needs to be claimed. So the assumption that neo-colonialism and neo-imperialism were legitimate in this world. And secondly, all taboos were broken through this war of aggression. Not only the Charter of the United Nations was violated, no. It was violated by a member state of the Security Council. There has been systematic destruction of critical infrastructure, civilian infrastructure. Crimes were committed against the Ukrainian population, against civilians, and a nuclear threat is in the room as well. And the work done by Mr. Grossi at the EAA is also hugely important, and I would like to value that and appreciate that here. And he's also worked great with Iran. We must not underestimate that. So this war has had devastating consequences, and Russia only is responsible for this crisis. A crisis also of food supply, for example, despite the measures that we have taken in solidarity to the benefit of the countries that require our protection the most. Those who believe that this is a European matter, well, to those I say there's only one aggressor and only one party that was attacked. This is clear, and we must not want a stable international organization structure without stepping up for it. And my second consideration is this. It is the case that Russia's aggression has basically been crowned by 4 clear defeats. The first defeat is the defeat on the battlefield. The basic assumption of Russia was that this war was going to be quick, that Ukraine cannot resist and will fall within a few days or maybe within a few weeks at most today.
Merci beaucoup. Merci. On fait 2 questions. Okay. Oui. Okay. Mr. President, thank you very much for your speech. It had an advantage and a disadvantage.